how the backyard cafe got started. Long story, but I'll try to break it down as teeny weeny bit as possible. Growing up in Guyana, I learned to cook from my mom and different folks, watching them in the kitchen, and I mastered that. Left, went to the US. I'm doing my private thing, but cooking was also in the back burner there. So what my brothers did, they started introducing their friends to Guyanese food. Oh, my brother's a cook. He can prepare you really nice Guyanese dishes. So on Fridays, on the weekends, my brothers they would set up a whole team and get their friends together. They pay all these exuberant amount of money just for a plate of food, and I was super excited because they would go out and buy me all the equipment. After that, it would be the grill, the knife set, and everything that I like, or things that to make my cooking easy in the kitchen. So they start helping me with that, help me to grow from there. So it was like a side business in the US that they would get us doing. It came a time you either need to own a restaurant or a food truck. I decided to go on the food truck, but getting all the paperwork and everything done in the US, it was time consuming. My brother heard that I was going to, my older brother who came back to Guyana and started a trucking business, he heard that I was going to go to Europe and do backpacking for about a year or so. I decided, I told my family, I'm going to just be away for a year. I'm going to do some backpacking in Europe and learn about farming. And he called me up. I'm in the US, he's in Guyana. He called me up, hey, I booked a ticket for you. Forget about going backpacking. Just come down to Guyana and spend some time with me and help me to take my company to the next level because you're good at management. Help me to put this together. And while you're here, if you see something you like, let's get it done. We're gonna help you with whatever it is that you want to do. If it is that you want to stay in Guyana and you see it and you like it, all right. I came to Guyana. Been traveling to Guyana from 2012, 13, and I'm traveling, getting my feet wet, learn as much as I can, and I decided that I wanted to open up a restaurant in Guyana. So I went back to the US, I spoke with the family, and they decide, hey, guess what? It wasn't an easy task to sell that to them. The first instinct was, no, we're not going to help. You should come back over here and get your life started over. You're in the US. I said, no, I can't make it in the US doing a restaurant. I want to do the restaurant in Guyana. So I came back to Guyana. I started on my own, and we started in the backyard cafe. We started in my childhood home because this is my childhood home in West Rhineville. We started here just in this little square, and this is why I'm doing the interview right here because it was just this little square patch of dirt we had, and I used yoga mats. We didn't have any tables or anything. I used yoga mats, and we used a tire rim to cook authentic guy. It was one pot. Every day I'm cooking one pot, whether it's a metimji, it was cook up rice, it was the chow mein, that's the noodles with all the vegetables inside, and doing like a one pot meal per day for folks that would come and sit on these yoga mat and just enjoy authentic Guyanese cuisine. And we grow from there. So this is where the backyard cafe started, and that's a little bit of how it got started. I can get more in depth. I try to speed it up a little bit for you, but hope that tells you a story of how we began.
Tell us a little about Guyanese gastronomy, its origin, how food is integrated into the identity and culture of the Guyanese people.
Oh, wow. That there is a long, open question right there. Very nice, very good question. The people. First, we must, to understand Guyana, we must understand the people. And the good thing about Guyana and Guyanese people, we came from all across the globe, from Asia, from Southeast Asia, from India, well, still Asia, right? China, Africa. Then we have our indigenous people, so Portuguese, and then we still have the Caucasian folks, the white folks that own plantations across Guyana. So with everyone that was here, brought the slaves or brought the people to work for them, the food came along with them. So this is how it is, right? So we have the Indians. We got authentic Indian cuisine that folks still have the tradition to carry on from their great grandparents. We still have that. We have to our Chinese cuisine, came all the way from China, and they kept that alive from generations on. The African cuisine, a lot of that almost died out because the African had to hide most of our tradition, doing our traditional stuff or ways of cooking. We had to hide it. But the good thing about it, when the slave masters was portioning off our ration or giving us food, they would give us the scraps, the bits and pieces of the pig that they would be chopping up, the cows, the sheep, the belly, the foot, the hooves, the face of the cow, the nose, the tongue. And our people, the African people, took all of that and we turned that into gourmet food. Now, today, as we speak, those same scrap foods that was given out to the slaves, now those are the food that everyone is asking for. Because whether it's the slaves, whether it was the East Indians, whether it was the Chinese, we all took what we had at the time and we created something amazing. So how is it integrated in our culture? It's etched deep into our DNA. Even if a Guyanese is born to Guyanese parents in the US, in Europe, wherever it is, they still passed on our traditional pepper pot, which came from our first people, our Amerindian people. So when that person now, let's say that person comes back to Ghana, and we had a few of those from time to time, right? Just 2 days ago, we had a gentleman came back after 47 years. He was born here and left when he was 15 years old, and he came back to Ghana after 47 years. And all he wanted was the last food that his mom cooked for him. It was pepper pot. It was cassava bread toasted on the stove and rubbed with the butter, with the salted butter. And that is from the Amerindian people, which is our first people. So now, as like I said before, it's etched in our DNA. So how can he left here 47 years ago and remember distinctively that he wanted that taste again? So when he got the taste for the first time after 47 years, lit up. Everything would just connected back again, like, yes. Tears fell out of his eyes and he remembered his mom and the history of that plate of food that was in front of him. All right, I'll give you the social media first. Backyard Cafe is nestled in my childhood home in West Rhineville, Georgetown, Guyana. It's like the outskirts of the hub of the city, is just outside of the city in West Rhineville, Georgetown, Guyana, right? Our social media sites, it's Facebook, Backyard Cafe. It's Instagram, Backyard Cafe GY. It's TikTok, Backyard Cafe underscore Guyana. YouTube, our YouTube channel is growing significantly. Backyard Cafe, that's all where you can find us. And folks makes reservation right there. We do not have a website as yet. The WhatsApp is working perfectly fine for us. You send a detailed message to us on WhatsApp. Our phone number is 592, that's the area code, 663 5104. The service we provide is many services. First, we have the Backyard Cafe market tour. We do a market tour at one of our local market, which is Border Market. And folks get an opportunity to see all the fresh vegetables and local snacks. They get to pick stuff out, get to taste, and they pick their products out there at the marketplace, and we can actually come back to the backyard cafe and we provide a meal for them too, if you would like to have that. We have cooking classes at the backyard cafe. We provide that for you. Couples cooking classes. You have your kids and you want them to learn something new on doing cooking. We do that also. We have culinary tours across Guyana. We have a culinary tour that's going to Essequibo. This is one of our regions here in Guyana, and dining and having, whether it's lunch, brunch, breakfast, dinner at the backyard cafe. And we do personal catering too. Also, we can come to your private home and we can do a private dinner for you, your family, friends, right there in your living room using your kitchen.